Hi guys, in this lesson we're going to look at sinking funds. Sounds very funny and unfamiliar. It's nothing funny, it's just a normal investment. There's a certain scenario, let's see what it is. If you buy a car, for instance, now, and you decide in 10 years time you want to replace the car, especially in businesses, as computers, they've got only a certain lifetime and then you need to replace them. So what we do, we firstly calculate the scrap value of the equipment. So let's say it's a car. So we need to know what it is worth after, say, 10 years. And how do we do that? You all know by now. We use the depreciation formula, the normal A formula with the minus inside, because a car or anything like that depreciates. So that is the first thing we do. And then the replacement value of a new car, because in 10 years' time, it's not going to cost the same as that it costs now. So in 10 years' time, what will make the cost different? Inflation rate. So we're going to use the same formula, A and P formula, with the big amounts, but now it's 1 plus I, because now the inflation is going to go on top of the price every year, and it's always compounded. The same with depreciation, it's always on the previous year. The next year is worked out on the previous year, and this is compounded. That's why the little N hangs in the air, and it's not just simple interest like you started off with in grade 11. And then the sinking fund, which is actually just an investment. How much must you now invest monthly so that by the end of the 10 years, you will have the amount of money that you need? Now, how will you know what the amount of money is? If you know what the new car is going to cost and you know what your car is going to be worth, you just subtract the two from one another, because the dealer will give you your money for your car, whatever it's worth, after depreciation, and then the new car's cost, and the difference is what we call the sinking fund. So it's just another word that we use to say it's not just a normal investment. It is for a specific reason, because the equipment that we bought, normally it's some equipment, it depreciates, and then it also, with inflation, the new price will be higher, and I need to know what the difference between the two is, because if you exchange your vehicle for a new one, they will pay you whatever your vehicle is worth. And then lastly, most important, is the payments. I need to know now how much money must I put in the bank every month, so that by the end of the 10th year I can buy that car or whatever it is. So here on this slide, it is really summarized very nicely for you. Now, you can just study this all off by heart, but I hope you're not going to do that. It's always better to understand. There's 4 steps involved with the sinking fund. Now, they will use the word sinking fund. It's a definite exam question. You can go back to previous papers. Nearly in all the papers, there's a sinking fund involved, because there's 3 different formula that they test in one. The only thing they're not testing is the P formula. They test firstly, your depreciation. You see it's the minus formula, which you know, you learned it in grade 11. And then it's the inflation for the new price. So that's also the A formula, just with the plus. That's your inflation rate. And then if I now subtract the two from one another, those two answers, A and B, I will know how much money I need after that certain time period. And that amount of money, I now use my F formula. Why the F formula? I want to invest now monthly. It's got nothing to do with the loan, a P formula. So I want to invest monthly, but I need to know how much to invest. So all of these problems sound exactly the same. So if you can do this example after I've explained it to you, and you do the few that we give at the end of the lesson, you should be 100%. And as I say, it's a lot of marks. As you can see, it's 4 different formulae, 4 different things you are doing, 3 different formulae, 4 different things you are doing. And it's really a lot of marks. So if you can get this totally under control and understand what you're doing, you be sure of maybe 99% of an exam question that you can do well. But let's look at an example. Now you'll see it's very lengthy, because there's now different things involved. So we need to really keep our head. So let's start reading. A fishing boat costs 560 Rand now, at the present. You agree with me? It's what it costs now. It has a life expectancy of 12 years. That is your N. The boat depreciates at a rate of 15%. That is your I. On a reducing balance. Now, this is now not monthly or something. Overall, this fishing boat, every year, it reduces its value, which we call depreciation. So it's always per annum. Depreciation is always per annum. Inflation is always per annum. Good. Now they say the estimate of a new boat. So I'm going to just stop there. Let's just quickly change a bit. A new boat is based on a 13% interest rate. So it's all the top stuff, but now because this is now the inflation part of the sum, it's now, so let's call that the little a. You remember we said the a part of the sum, the first one is to work out your depreciation. Then the b part of the sum is to find out what the new thing is going to cost. And if we read then further, a sinking fund is created to pay for the new replacement boat. The interest rate quoted for the sinking fund is 9.8% compounded monthly. So that is your I now for the sinking fund. Where do we do the sinking fund? Right in the very end. The D, the fourth sum, is where we use the F formula for the sinking fund, and that will be on a 9.8%. Now they ask you, determine the monthly payments into the sinking fund, beginning a month after the current boat purchase. Now remember, we always, all our formulae start at the end of the first month. So it's nothing funny. It doesn't start at the beginning like we did in previous lessons or in 6 months' time. It starts at the end of the first month, which is the normal thing, how your formula is set up. Ending with the procedure in 12 years' time. So the 12 is the full amount of time that we have for this whole deal. So let's just go and do a timeline. Never do this without a timeline. Actually, any finance. Always good to do your timeline. Now, you see, I haven't written it down, so I'm going to do it now. 560,000. 560,000 is what your boat is going to cost now. Now, firstly, it was the depreciation. Remember, we did the depreciation in the green. It was 15% for 12 years. So there's your 15%. This was for the depreciation, and the 12 is for 12 years. Now, if I use the depreciation formula, which is this one, do you agree with me? There's no monthly or something. It's a normal formula with two big amounts, the A and the P. P now, A is what it's going to be worth at the end. So it's got nothing to do with monthly payments. So that N 12 times 12 is just when we start working with the monthly payments. For this one, the N is 12 years. Have you got it? Good. Now we start filling it in. It's 560,000. 1 plus 0.15. Remember, we don't use 15% or 15 over 100. Rather use the decimal. It's much easier to click into your calculator. To the power of 12 years. Because I want to know what my vehicle or my boat is worth in 12 years' time. So I'm going to do 560,000. Make sure of all the noughts. Bracket 1 plus 0.15. Close your bracket. To the power of 12 equals. I'm going to write it down here. Oh gosh, I hope you saw. Let me write it down. Let me quickly write it down. I want to show you something. 2,996,140,06. Now look at this, 2 million. And it was only worth 560,000. You see how easily this happens? I just quickly wrote down the formula and I forgot it's actually depreciation that I'm doing. Depreciation has got the minus, but you see what happens now. From the start, I said you must always, before you carry on, look at the possibility of your answer. I want to know this boat that is now 560,000 worth. What is it going to be worth in 10 years' time? It's going to be much less. And look what I've got now. Much more. I've got 2 million. Oh, see, and now immediately I see my mistake and I go back and I just change my formula and I make sure that I have the right formula. And people, I can't stress this enough, especially this sum where there's 4 little sums involved. If you don't check each one's validity and see if it's possible, you will be wrong with all the rest of the problems. So make very sure, and this happens, it's life. It happens that you make silly mistakes like that. We all know depreciation is a minus, but because I didn't concentrate well, I just wrote the plus and I used the plus and it didn't work. But I saw it luckily because the value was too high. So it's 1 minus 0.15 to the power of 12. So now I'm just going to go back with my cursor. Luckily, you can do this with your calculator, and I'm going to delete the plus, and I'm going to make it a minus. And, this looks much better. Now it's going to be worth 79,655 Rand and 38 cents. Good. This makes more sense. From 560,000, 79,000, rounded off roughly. Yes, it's much less because it's in 12 years' time. So with depreciation, it's much less. Now, the second thing I need to know is what my inflation is going to be. Now, you see, all of these things they did not ask me. They never ask you to work the depreciation or the inflation, but you need to know. For a sinking fund, I need to know how much money I must save to buy a new vehicle. For a sinking fund, I need to know. Firstly, I work out depreciation to know what my car will be worth or my boat. Then I work out the inflation. Now, the inflation, I could have left the previous answer because remember, the inflation now is the one with the plus inside. So it's exactly the same sum and it's now just with the plus. So that amount that I had previously, so I'm again going to go back with my cursor. I'm not going to type in the whole sum again. I'm just going to delete the minus. I'm going to make it a plus. And there I get that funny amount again. 2,996,140,06. So 2.9 million roughly a new vehicle, a new boat is going to cost in 12 years' time, which is very much possible. Now, again, test if it's possible. If it now costs 560,000 Rand, what will it cost in 12 years? And then you will know it is possible. Good. Oh. What do I see on the right-hand side? Let's go back. Ay. Can you remember I did this in orange? The new boat was 13%. You see how you must really keep your head. The new boat is 13%. So that 15 that I have there, oopsie. But people, this is what happens. Because there's so much written there. Now, you don't have different color pens in the exam. I don't think you're allowed at the end of matric to use different colors. So you need to either squiggle the ones that is inflation and circle the ones that is depreciation so that you can clearly there see between the two the difference. I should have used 0. So let's just quickly go back and change that. It's just going to make a slight difference, but let's make it properly. Very, very easy that one can make these mistakes. So get yourself into a system where when you work with depreciation, you've circled all the depreciation values and you make sure it's those ones. It was 15%. When you work with the inflation, it was 13% inflation, not 15%. So it's 0.13. Now again, I'm going to go back with my cursor. Luckily, these clever calculators, and just make it 13. And there's the amount. It's still 2 million. Okay, and just one thing more. Can you see the spaces I leave between the thousands? Because it's so big amounts that we work with. If you just write all the letters next to one another, it's very easy to leave out one or write down incorrectly. If you make it in 1,000 Rand slots, it's just much easier to keep your head. Good. Now, can you remember the third part of the sum? I need to now find out what do I need after 12 years. So the new boat's price minus what it is worth is what the dealer is going to charge me, and I need to start saving for that. And it's always good to save. I don't know if you remember previously we did a house loan, and we saw that we actually pay 3 times the house price in interest because you are borrowing. Now, for a house, you don't have an option most of the times, but for other stuff, if you can rather save and not borrow, much better. So, if we get to this slide, I just wrote down the values here so that it's easier to remember. Remember, we take now the new value of what the new boat is going to cost minus the depreciated value is the two that we did in A and B, and we subtract them from one another. Now that amount there is what you now need after 12 years. Now I'm just going to write my formula down. F is x 1 plus I to the n minus 1 over I. But before I start filling in anything, remember that's now the third formula I'm using. So I must go back and make it very sure that I'm using the right values now. Because if you go back to the original, you'll see, and maybe we should have circled these ones. It was 9.8%, and that was now monthly. So if I now go back to my formula, there I've written it down. It's now 9.8%, but remember, monthly. If it's monthly, I need to divide by 12. That one was 12 years, which I times by 12. So in the end, it's 144 months. So now it's the normal F formula, sinking fund, normal F formula. I must make sure my I and my N is the same. It's now monthly, different from the previous two. The previous two is just yearly. Depreciation and inflation is yearly, only big amounts. I need to know what that amount is that I need to save monthly, which shows my monthly amount. the little xy there. So my question is to find the x. I've got the f, 2, 3, 4, 7, 677.56 equals, I do not have the x. I have the I, which was 0.098 over 12 in a bracket to the power of 144 minus 1 all over 0.098 over 12. Just before I carry on, remember 9.8%. Do not make it 0.98. Common mistake. Make sure that you got the 0 in there. Percentage consists of two figures. So if they give you 9 point something, you know that there's a 0 short. Good. Now I need the x all alone. We did many of these. I take my amount that I've got here, 2,347,677 Rand and 56, and I times by the fraction. Because a fraction is being divided, I must times with it. I need to get that whole block bracket away from the x. That is being multiplied, so what must I do? I must divide by that whole big fat block bracket. Don't forget your bracket in bracket. And that should give you the x. Now again, you use your fraction button, the one with the block on top of the block. You tick in all of this just as you see it in front of your eyes. And if you've done all of that, you will get the answer of 8,613 Rand and 31 cents. Let's see if this seems like a logical thing. You remember what I said previously? It's normally in the thousands, close in the vicinity of the 10,000. It could be from 7, 8, 9, 10,000 approximately. If this was 80,000 Rand a month, you know you made a mistake. But can you see how important it is that you check each and every sum before you carry on with the rest of the problem? So to see if it makes sense, and if it doesn't, like we did in the very beginning, we know immediately we did something wrong somewhere, and if we go back normally, we can see it very easily, and this now makes sense. So this is the amount of money that I need to put in the bank every month. So by the end of 12 years, I will have this amount of money, which is actually just my saving. They call it a sinking fund because there's depreciation involved and there is inflation involved. Just one other little thing. If you want to be 110% accurate, you will leave all the not rounded off answers on your calculator, because all of my answers had 3 or 4 digits after the comma. I rounded it off to cents. Rand and cents. Cents consist of 2 decimals. But now if you want to be even more accurate, you leave all the comma 4 digits and you'll slot it into your memory. Now I hope you all know how memory works. You store. So you say Shift RCL, so you store, and then you click that button with the minus in the bracket, which is in the red A. So you're storing it in memory A. If you want to store another thing, again you say Shift RCL, because on top of it says store. Now you want to store it in B, so you press now the red B. And later on, when you want those figures back, you just say recall RCL and you press the A, and it gives you the A that you saved with all the non-rounded off cents. So that will give you a more accurate answer. But in the end, you'll see it will only be cents that you are off. And luckily, at the end of grade 12 exam, they accept both of the answers. So if you did round off and you just used the rounded off answers like we did in this problem, it's fine. You do not need to worry about it. But if you in real life want to work very accurately, or even in the exam if you've got time and you know how your memory works, it's better to just slot it into your memory and use the non-rounded off, because we actually in maths supposed to round off only the very last answer. The only one they allow you to round off is these finance ones, which are so very long and lengthy, so they do allow you to round off in the problem. Good. This time I'm not going to wipe it out, because we all do things, we just write it a little bit different. Everything I've done is summarized here. The scrap value, the cost of the new boat, the sinking fund, and then on the last page we've done the whole thing with the F formula, the months, exactly like I did it, and you get the X all alone, and that is the amount of money that you need to pay back monthly. So as you see, it's really easy. There's nothing new. You in grade 12 need the P and the F formula, and automatically the 2A formula that you learned in grade 11 for depreciation and inflation. But other than that, there's no different formulae. You just use them. You must just keep your head with what am I supposed to do. So when you hear the word sinking fund, There's 4 little things involved. So you go to A, B, C, D, remember which 4 things it is, and make it clear in your mind. Why is it like that? Think about the practical life which you're going to enter next year if you're in real life and you want to buy yourself a guitar or whatever. So it's really a good thing to know to work out your own finances like this. So I'm sure you're going to be okay with this. Go practice. There's again 2 pages of extra problems. First practice the one that we've done on clean sheet of paper. Don't look at any answer. Another sheet and pause it. Go do it slowly. Circle, squiggle it, tick it off. Make sure you mark it in different ways. The depreciation, the inflation, and in the sinking fund. And then I'm sure you're going to be 100% with this. Good luck.